Well, happy Friday, friends, and welcome to another live stream session where we're going to be reviewing your church's live streams right here on the channel. I don't have a fancy branding name, guys. This isn't the worship collective fueling, I don't know, like it's just me. It's just Rylan Russell. I'm here for it. And so if you guys are new around here, I'm a worship and media arts pastor here in the Tulsa area in Oklahoma. And man, it's been a fun time around here because we are 1 week away from our grand reopening of our worship center and all the new spaces we've been building. So I haven't published a YouTube video since the last time we did our live stream review sessions with Colby Griner last month, which has never happened in the last 5 years of me doing YouTube. But I have been trying to throw some shorts up there, and especially for my creative crew members that are there, you guys have been seeing those kind of like daily, like just random things that I'm doing, just, 60 seconds of the project I'm working on today. And so, yeah, man, we got people in the chat saying they can't wait to see how I can improve. Yes, that's how we should approach today's live streaming sessions, is that we are iron sharpening iron, like we're all in this together. And so let's just see how we can improve things. Brian, let's go. Come on from the 918. Nick says that he is hopping in from Jersey. So thank you for being here today. If you guys haven't yet, go ahead and hit that like button on the live stream. I think that it might help the algorithm kind of push it out to everybody. Hit the share if you are feeling really bold. Throw this on your Instagram stories or something like that. And let's just see if we can have a great day today. So without further ado, I want to bring in our guest that we are going to have on the live stream today. And you guys are in for a treat. Like, seriously, it's going to be awesome. So right now, would you please help me welcome to the live stream the one and only Mr. Kris Smith.
Hey, hello. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
In your time zone.
Yeah, that's right. Depending on where you're at, it may be morning, maybe evening. I don't know. We got some people joining. A lot of times we have people like from Germany and, all over the place.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So really cool. I said the one and only Kris Smith, but there's probably a reason why your Instagram handle is not just Kris Smith. So
no, yeah, there's a ton out there. In fact, if you Google it, it's like some bodybuilder / model, which I wish it was me, but I mean,
there are worse things that happen whenever you Google people's names, right? Like it could be much worse.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, Kris. Well, thanks for joining us, the first-time guest on the live stream for the review session. So if people, if the algorithm hasn't fed your content to them, can you kind of introduce yourself, where you're serving at, and kind of what you like to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, my name is Kris. I'm the technical director at Church 1132. I basically help manage everything from the technology side, from audio, video, lighting, broadcast, LED walls at all of our campuses. I do a lot of the technology for our outside events, which we do a lot of. I do all of our audio for post-production and creative media as well. So I do a lot of the dialogue editing. I mix a lot of our music moments that we produce a month. So I wear a lot of hats. I'm wearing one hat, but but I wear a lot of hats around here, as a lot of our staff does. And so on Instagram, I just love just creating content of things I do around my workplace. We're not exactly like a big mega church by Texas standards. We're here in Texas, and so we're not working with $1 million budgets for production. And so I get a little creative, and I like creating content around how do you get creative and make it excellent with production in your church.
Yeah, man. So how did you get into the production scene? Was it just something like as a kid you were interested in, and you had somebody let you hold a camera one time? Or tell us about that.
Yeah. So actually, when I was in high school, I started as an intern at my local church. And then the person I was interning, he actually went to Hillsong College, and so I decided to take that route as well over in Australia. And so I learned live audio over there. And then once I graduated, moved to California, helped launch Hillsong Orange County and San Francisco, and helped them out over there. And then I decided, hey, let's try out Texas. Love Texas a lot, and moved here. I was doing a lot of corporate gigs, and I really love corporate gigs, doing some touring here and there. And at my local church that I was attending, they needed some help on the technology end because they were expanding very fast. And so the technical director, who's still here, so there's two of us. It's a little confusing, but he's technically my boss. So there's two technical directors here, and so I manage more the technology side. He manages more everything that's not pastoral. So that goes from merch, communications, marketing, creative, production, things like that. But he offered me a position here, and at first I wasn't really like thinking like, oh, okay, like, is this really what I want to do? Because the money wasn't very good. Let me just say that for sure.
Hey, can I get an amen in the chat for that, church tech friends? The money is not why we're doing this.
It's not. Like, you can definitely go work in like sports broadcasting and do less for more money. But I just wanted to challenge myself. I was young, and I wanted to learn a lot more. Still want to learn a lot more, and through that, learned a ton. And now here I am. So yeah, it's good stuff.
That's awesome, man. Okay,
Yeah.
so on a Sunday morning, kind of like, what is your typical role at your church?
Yes.
Where do you find yourself?
Yeah. So on a Sunday morning, the ideal is that I don't have to do anything whatsoever. If I have to do something, that means something's broken or fixed.
Okay.
It needs to be fixed. And so it's all right. You can come in. They need to get some of their social media stuff here. It's all right. Yeah, you can come in.
You come on, join the live stream.
Yeah,
Let's go.
come join us. Yes. Anyway, we have an academy here as well, and
Nice.
so they sometimes need to use our technology as well. So basically on a Sunday, I do manage a lot of our technology, and we are portable right now. So this past Sunday, we basically duplicated our entire broadcast location to be in a portable format as we build our new building for the next 2 to 3 years. And so on a Sunday now, I'm doing a lot more, connecting all the racks together, making sure infrastructure is flowing, everything's talking to each other, because now we've implemented fiber between each rack for all of our network switches, and that goes through a lot of different things, like Dante, ATIM connection, internet, and things like that for all of our decoders and encoders, because it is our broadcast setup. And so I'm managing that right now on a Sunday. I also manage our audio and how it sounds on a Sunday as well. And so typically, if there is an audio, constructive criticism or feedback, then I am the person that will oversee that. Now, I have people in those positions. That's not just me mixing in front of house and doing tech. So thankfully, I do have that extra help, but that ultimately will come through me.
That's nice.
On a Sunday. Yeah.
Well, guys, if you have any just church tech questions for Kris, go ahead and drop those in the chat, and we'll try to bounce back and forth between maybe like chat questions and maybe do some Q&A time, and then with some live stream review sessions. I have seen in the chat a couple of the guys that submitted that we are going to review their live stream. So I see Josh from Frisco Bible in there. I think I saw Jesse in there earlier that submitted. He's part of the creative crew, so we're going to get to those in just a minute. Now, where is your church meeting? Are you meeting in like a school or?
Yeah, so we do meet in a high school, and this is crazy. So I say high school, but it's they have their own performing arts center, and it's massive. The stage is 40 feet wide. It seats about, I think, maybe 1,500 people, maybe 1,800 people, with the balcony, and it's very orchestral. So they do a lot of orchestras and plays there, but it's actually right across the street from our building, from our campus, which is super nice because people that normally go to our church, they don't have to go that far. It's literally across the street. And it's also probably, if not one of the biggest high schools in America. So it's crazy. There's about 6,000 students at this high school. Just to give you a picture of how big it is, it's huge. Like, there's an entire separate building just for the freshmen that's also right next door to our campus. So we're meeting in their PAC, which we typically do Christmas and Easter in there anyway, because our building's kind of small to host those kind of services. We only seat maybe like 500 people. Yeah. We could probably cram in like 550 uncomfortably, but we've done it before.
Yeah.
We've definitely done it before. But we're meeting in there on Sundays now because we've been out of space continually for probably since back to school last year.
Wow, dude. I mean, it's a great
Yeah.
problem to have, right?
It is,
But
yes. Yeah.
it definitely introduces tech problems to solve, which is great. So,
Oh, yeah.
well, man, I'm just excited to have you on the stream today, and
Excited to be here, yeah.
we're going to review at least 3 churches here that we've got lined up.
Yes.
So let's just go ahead and dive into it. What do you say?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Start with Cornerstone Church. So Cornerstone Church, they are sending a broadcast-specific aux to a stereo matrix, and that's how their audio is set up. They're doing it very similar to how I do it. It's like I send an unmonitored mix of pre-fader drums, and then everything else on its like own thing, and then those combine together for stream. Camera wise, they've got some GH4 cameras. I love those. Man, come on, that takes me back, you know. And they just have a ATEM 1ME. So, you know, pretty simple setup. And he says that what they're trying to do, Jesse says, achieve fullness and balance seems like the struggle is there. So let's listen a little bit here to Cornerstone, and then guys in the chat, let me know what you hear as well. Here we go.
Nothing that our God can't do. Yeah. Just one word. You hear what's broken inside me. Just one word. And you revive every dream. Just one touch. I feel the power of heaven. Just one touch, my eyes were open to see. My heart can't help but believe. There's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a mountain that He can move. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. Yeah, there's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a prison wall He can't break through. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. Yeah.
Cool. All right, that's Cornerstone Church. Jesse, thanks for submitting. What immediately jumps out at you if you're just tuning into this broadcast and you caught that section of the service?
Yeah. If I was jumped in initial thoughts, the face lighting is fantastic.
I agree.
Yes. I love a daylight gallery face light. That's just my preference. I've worked in television studios in the past, and the daylight just makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. The thing is, it doesn't cost as much as, you know, regular warm lighting that you get from Source 4, lamp-based Source 4s and other things like that. So, great job on the face lighting for sure. Absolutely.
I totally agree with that. We actually just switched. I mean, our new stuff is all going to be 5600 Chauvet stuff, and I'm like, it just looks clean, right?
Oh yeah, it does. It looks a lot cleaner. It's a lot easier to edit it as well. Your social media team's gonna love you as well if you implement that, because we're so used to daylight gallery lighting, just because we see it all the time in our day-to-day life. So when it comes to like warm yellow lights, and there's a place for that, right? As well, like your setup in your background, like looks phenomenal. It's warm lighting. It makes you pop as a talent, and so that warm lighting, it's used really well. But I think on stage for church services, daylight just makes a big difference for sure.
What about audio wise? Anything immediately jumping out at you?
Yes, audio wise, one thing for sure is that everything's kind of everything's clear but not blended together.
Yeah, I think that's what he was talking about, is like, how do you get that fullness where it's not just, I hear each instrument.
Yes. Definitely every instrument has a place for sure, but you don't want to process it too much as well, which is difficult because this is, I'm assuming, your house mix, right?
I think it was based on kind of like that post fader of the house mix kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. And so you're kind of fighting with what you're trying to go with in the house than online.
Yep.
Because they're very different, especially in a live scenario. So, like, if you're a smaller church with, not a big auditorium, you're fighting drums, you're probably going to overcompensate with volume on your bass guitar, which is kind of what I'm hearing here, because the bass guitar is very loud as well. Reverbs sound really good. I really like the trail that was left in the vocal reverb as well. So that was really nice. Acoustic, I thought, was really well placed. And I really like the piano sound too. I'm a big stickler on piano sounds.
Yeah. Are you like where the Lord is, the Lord is kind of guy?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because I met some pretty killer pianists who have their Ableton patches, and it's just a fancy MIDI keyboard, and so they don't.
Do you have a VST that you like Ravenscroft or one of those? Or?
No, I don't actually, because I think every piano player has their own personal preference with what their workflow is, and so I have preferences on how it sounds coming to me.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of mud in the 200 hertz area, and I like a poppy. I like that pop key sound where it's a lot of attack, except for Ministry Time. That's a key thing too. Like Ministry Time towards the end, you got to have that low end, just as a bed for your pastor to really do his thing or her thing. And so that's what I'm hearing right now with this. I hear that you're kind of challenging the front of house, the drums in the house a little bit, and so I'm a big advocate for having a separate mixer, and I don't think nowadays it's not that expensive to have something that is separate from your house console. Now sometimes you can't really do much with it, and so then you have to find a balance between what sounds good in the console with what's in your house as well. And so now you kind of have to look at, what's your PA? What's the tuning of your PA? How does that respond to the room as well? And so there's a lot of things that you have to balance here. And that's really church production. It's finding a balance and a compromise everywhere for everything to talk to each other really well.
Yeah. Let's listen for just another minute and just get a taste of this second song and see if anything. Sometimes you start the service and then about halfway through you're like getting it dialed in. So let's listen.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Your mercy and grace won't find me again. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing.
I appreciate you lighting your drummer in the cave.
Yes. Oh yeah. Give the drummer a little bit of shine.
Yeah.
That wasn't a ball joke, by the way. I was just.
Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing.
He's a really good vocalist. He's got that grit.
Yes, he's like
Southern grit.
Southern grit, baby. Come on, it's like Chris Stapleton leading worship.
Oh yeah.
All right. So some of my thoughts off the bat, just watching Cornerstone a little bit here, is I love how the worship team all is super engaged, and you can just see it on their faces that they're worshiping, whether they're leading or not on vocals. And I agree. I love the passion this guy's singing with. I think video-wise, some things that I would maybe say is you can maybe bring your lower thirds down a little bit lower. As long as you're always doing just 2 lines, I think it can fall a little bit lower into your cut. I think that you could maybe cut a little quicker off of auxiliary instruments. So it seems like when we go to bass or drums, that we might hang there a little too long. And I would try to be more purposeful about let's go to those during the instrumental, or I know he's about to hit these big hits, and just really think through when to go to those. It seems like we're on the drums too long at this point.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And then the last thing I think video-wise is, I think you said you only have 2 cameras, and that might be part of the problem, but I have not had an establishing shot of the room and where this space I'm living in. If I'm a live stream first time viewer and I'm checking out Cornerstone Church, I love to be able to kind of see the environment as well. And I don't think you're doing an IMAG cut, so you can do more of those wide shots. If maybe you just had one guy on roaming camera that could throw in some various shots, I think that would probably be the next upgrade that I hit.
Oh yeah, and roaming cameras are not hard nowadays. Like you can literally just use the Black Magic app on your phone. You have the A10 switcher already, so the ecosystem's there, and you can get a really cheap wireless video transmitter as well to help with that.
So you're saying
that's
just load up the Blackmagic app and then go
Yeah.
like USB-C to HDMI out of your thing, or are you saying wirelessly?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say go USB-C to HDMI out of your phone. They make a dock for that now. If you have the new
Yes.
17 Pro, if you don't, then there's other ways to do that too. But that's a really useful way of getting new people on your video team, but also allow for those free roaming shots. Because it's crazy that we have such really good cameras on our phones, but we're not using them on a Sunday. And so there's really creative ways to do that. You can send a clean feed out of the Blackmagic app, so those lines aren't in the way.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, let's move to just their preaching time real quick. We always neglect
Yes.
to really think through preach, but it's so important. So let's just
Yes.
watch and listen just a little bit here to their preach time.
I'm sorry about the chords. I'm talking about my and
You're not supposed to walk over there, bro. You stay in your lane.
Young girl
No.
was devastated, right? But this
Good
woman
job following,
had
though.
the audacity to have one single big dream her whole life.
I like how the key light stayed consistent
The
pretty much on his
audacity.
face.
And I say it's
Yep.
big because the
Oh,
biggest
yeah.
thing we do is share the gospel with somebody.
Oh, he got out of it there.
She had
Yeah,
the
he seems like he got
audacity,
pretty far out from
Yeah.
the stage.
thematicity. I just made up that word. You can write it down. Right?
That's a good. Hey, that's a
She
$5 word right
decided
there.
that she was going to dream big when it comes to her.
How do you usually mix crowd
That she was
volume
gonna
during sermon
Yep.
versus
for her
crowd
salvation.
volume during band? And are
I
you
say it's
are
a
you
big
riding
dream,
that
yes.
fader, or are
'Cause
you
my grandfather
automating some
was
of
a
that?
Rolling
What do
Stone.
you think?
Yeah. So
grandfather,
for me, I'm a big waves guy whenever it comes to the pastor microphone. So we typically mix our pastor mics as if it sounds like a podcast. So we actually kill a lot of reverb going back into the pastor microphone with the D-Reverb plugin. The live version is phenomenal. Use it if you don't have the opportunity to. I really recommend using Wave Super Rack native if you have an extra computer. It doesn't take a toll on your computer as much as you think it does. And so if you're using like an X32, M32, you can go USB out into your computer for that. But we kill the reverb from that, make it podcast to sound like, because we want to make sure our Sunday services are pretty much clip content worthy. So we clip farm everything from a Sunday service to make it applicable online. And then we have a couple of room microphones. We have we typically stick with shotguns for the most part for the preaching portion, and then for worship, I recommend large diaphragm condenser microphones. Shotguns because I get less room and more crowd. I want the people's voices and not the room as much. And so the room's going to come in naturally. A lot of people don't really think about that when it comes to like crowd microphones. You're going to get a lot of room. They're room microphones. They're so far away, but you want to hear people's voices, and the directness that the shotgun will help you achieve that is a night and day difference, especially for a campus too. So sometimes we'll send crowd mics to a separate campus, and that directness from the crowd mics really helps them at the other locations kind of feel like they're more engaged, and people online as well also get that engagement as well.
Okay. How many
that's
campuses
a
do
big
y'all
thing.
have?
Yeah, so we did have Wiley, Prosper, Frisco as 3 portable campuses outside of our main campus. We bought a building in Frisco. We merged Prosper and Frisco together. And then because we're building the new building, Wiley's like 15 minutes away. So we merged Wiley with us. So now we have 3 permanent buildings. Because we just also last year we opened our Oak Cliff campus, which is the Dream Center Dallas as well. And so we host services in there.
Is
so
that
now we're
the
at
one that
3.
was that the one Churchfront did the tour of?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
with the crazy
Yep.
circle
The
ceilings.
crazy dome. Yep.
Dude, that is
Yep.
intense.
That's our Oak Cliff. Yes, that's our Oak Cliff campus.
Wow. Very
Yeah.
cool. Okay, so they're all kind of
Yep.
unique. They're not like, cookie cutters that you've built. You've kind of built them out.
Yes.
Okay, that's neat.
100%. I think to achieve body and low end, I would probably look at your sources So obviously things like bass, guitar, kick drum, etc. And then I would probably say, what kind of tracks do you guys have to? If you guys are not running tracks, then probably opt into your keys and synths. I didn't really hear a lot of tracks in there.
And
so
I saw Prime Loop Community running over there on that laptop. I thought the same thing. I was like, I don't feel like I hear the tracks though. So Joey, definitely look and see, like maybe you need to tweak that initial level of it hitting. So.
Oh yeah, and if you feel like adding or having that low end from your sources is kind of overwhelming in your PA, then probably look at the PA tuning and see how you can find that balance between what you hear in the room and what you want online.
I love it. I love it. All right, Joey, I hope that you stuck around for that. If not, you were first up, so when you watch the replay, there it is. And he did comment earlier and said, our broadcast is set up on a stereo matrix that's fed by 4 aux groups: presenters, pre-fader, drums, instruments, bass only. This group is pre-fader. Bass is pre-fader. Oh, so him and that bass player, they got a little side hustle going. Hey, bro, hit me on the pre-fade for the stream.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. Let's move on. Speaking of Frisco, let's go on to Frisco Bible Church. This one comes to us from my buddy Joshua Chilton, who is there. And so,
is this Frisco, Texas?
I believe so. Yeah.
We're neighbors.
There you go. There you go. All right. So let's pull up their live stream and we'll give it a little look and listen. And then you guys chime in the chat. Let me know what you're hearing and seeing. Here we go. Honestly, that was impressive that they were hitting all those hits together on the offbeats. So their audio setup is a Midas Pro 2 at front of house, post-fader mixed through several mix buses with some house room mics added. And then cameras that they're rocking are 3 of the Panasonic AG-CX350s and 5 GH5 Mark IIs. And so anything, Kris, immediately jumping out at you? Because I'm hearing all kinds of good stuff. I know Josh has really worked hard to make it really improve over the years. And so curious to hear your thoughts and what you think on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad I was muting the OBS so I can hear it on YouTube. Initial thoughts. Sounds really good right off the bat. I love your camera angles as well. I don't know how many cameras you're working with. I think I counted like 4 or 5. But yeah, and you got movement there, so they're handhelds. You got it going on there. I love it. Initial thoughts: stage is a little messy. If it was me, and this is per church too, get rid of the iPads, get rid of the stools as well. Get rid of the white Apple cables. Find black ones if you can. And so that's just us. We don't really allow phones or iPads to be on stage just because we like to keep it pretty clear. And so that's kind of like my initial thoughts on like what I see as well. The other thing I saw was the 3-line lyrics. And I'm also a big stickler for like 2-line lyrics or single line even. And so that single line is more of like a creative option, but 2 lines max as well for me. And then I see you get the CCLIs, so good on you.
Is that what do we have to do that? What's the deal anymore?
Technically, yes and no.
Okay.
I say no because what's gonna happen? Like, you know what I mean?
No,
like,
CCLI agents, they'll be coming after you.
yeah. Well, I guess if the economy goes down more, then yeah, they're gonna milk everything. But it's like live streaming copyright music on Facebook or YouTube, right? You know, it's what's the worst that can happen from that? It's really good to have it as a liability.
Yeah. And if you're paying for
up.
all those correct licenses, as we should
Right.
be doing, you know, the streaming licenses
Yes.
and all those things. I've seen some churches, you know, try to do just like a catch-all slide or something at the end.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So
exactly. And it's like, you know, Hillsong or Bethel, they're not going to come to your doorstep and be like, hey, like, give us our copyright money or royalty money. They're not going to do that. They want you to play their music
Sure.
in your church.
Yeah.
And so that helps them out more than it helps you guys out. For
all right.
sure.
So this was a problem that Josh posted in when he submitted. He said one of the struggles he's having is hair light and just back, you know, the catch light on the back on down moments like this. He said, you know, when everything is on full, it's catching a lot of that stuff. But like, how are y'all achieving that? What's your kind of go-to method for in like chill moments to kind of be hitting
100%.
those shadows?
Yeah, absolutely. Color is big when it comes to more down moments. So if you have light fixtures as your hair light or that's, you know, it's RGB, and then really utilize that. Or if you have lights behind the talent as well. I didn't see an LED wall, so really utilizing your lights to really shine your pulpit area or where the talent is going to be really, really, really big because that's going to help create the dynamic of those down moments. And when it gets big and you have all your key light or your fixtures on full blast, then it's going to really amplify the worship as well, which I didn't see a lot of movement in the lighting. So, and this might be one of those churches too where, you know, it's, you know, they prefer more static lighting and maybe intensity changes rather than movement. But those intensity changes really, really do help that dynamic as well. For the dynamic, for the low lighting, low face lighting, I really recommend using some extra color on your talent. So just initial thoughts looking at this guy, this awesome vocalist right here. Your band is talented. Let me just say that right off the bat. I heard that tom fill with the drums. That was nasty in a good way. That was tasty. But just looking right off the bat, you know, I see a little bit of blue behind him. Maybe add a little bit on his shoulder as well. And this really does kind of depend on your rigging placements.
Josh, are these movers up here in the top on your back wall, or are those static ones? I know you're in the chat. Let us know. Yeah, if they're movers, I would say have a dedicated light for each person, which I know it's kind of hard because if they move around a lot, then it's more difficult. It doesn't really look like they're moving a lot. That's a different conversation, but it doesn't really look like they're moving a lot. And so you could really, really utilize having a light per person or per person basically to achieve that extra pop of color during those low moments. He says, yes, they are movers. In having a low ceiling, the lights further upstage become blinders in these moments. Okay, so they're not super high. Yeah, I mean, Josh, what I would do is probably, like, you've been in our space, Josh. Like, this light that's here, I don't know if you can see my mouse, that's pointing at your pianist. On those down moments, I would probably try and do cross stage if I could to not hit your front row. If you're trying to, you know, hit his shoulders as he's doing those, what do we call it, exhortation moments, you know, where he's kind of teaching or praying or things like that. So you might try that, you know, if they have, you know, focus or zoom, then hit that as tight as you can and just try to bring it in. Let's listen
one
just
thing
a
I
little
did
more.
see,
Go for it. Yes.
One thing I did see, I went to Milestone Church recently, and the one thing I noticed that I don't think a lot of people did is that they had a light where their face lights are on both ends of their, I guess, the rigging capacity that they had, and it was for shining the talents kind of like face from the side, not so much like directly like on the side, but kind of like angled in a little bit, like a 45-degree angle from the center, where it was adding that pop of color to the person
from the front.
From the front, Yes.
Oh, okay. So if it's wide
And
enough, you can get away with
big
that.
difference. Exactly. And it made a massive difference as well.
Okay. Josh, I really
try that
love
out.
I really love all the movement in your cameras. I know you've really worked hard on that, on
Mm-hmm.
adding more cameras and stuff. And the GH52s look really good.
8 cameras. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So they do actually blend okay with your older AGX2s or whatever those are. Like I'm assuming this is probably that. Correct me if I'm wrong. If that's a GH5 Mark II, then I think it matches your others nicely. I like that you have gotten your guy on stage doing some stuff, but I don't feel like I see him in these other shots. So the director's doing a good job of like kind of keeping the stage op out of the shots. So great job on that. I like your pacing. You're doing cuts. Let's listen just for a little bit more and see if we hear anything else.
Let's do it. Do you know what video switcher they're using?
It is I think it's a Ross. Let's see. Ross Carbonite.
Nice.
Let your kingdom come. Father, let your will be done through us.
Come on, go big. There we go.
Father, let your will be done. Great things you have done, greater things are yet to come. Fill us with your glory. We are
Nice. I like it. Your band's very polished, very tight.
take our hearts, we surrender.
Were the chimes in the tracks, or is you got a drummer with chimes? I haven't heard the chimes in a minute.
Oh, yeah. I hear that hi-hat nice and clear.
Love that angle on the drums where I can see the singers out in front.
No tracks, too. I'm impressed.
Yeah, no tracks is impressive.
Oh, yeah. I love that. I love that. I think some other initial thoughts that I have. This
Yeah.
is really good. Your band's nice and tight. This is great. I love it. I don't know if you're running any kind of waves. I don't know your broadcast audio setup as much, but really, really add a little bit more of that oomph, that low end to your mix, and really because most people know waves. I love it. Nice. That's really cool. Sometimes you get it straight out of the box. I would say again, I don't know your audio setup, so maybe like if you're doing it from front of house, maybe you can put it as a slight EQ on your...
Midas Pro 2 with
Pro 2?
several mix buses.
Wow, I haven't heard of Pro 2 usage in a long time. That is an old console, but still, I'm sure it's got flavor and character to it. But probably on your aux for your broadcast, maybe add a little bit of flavor with some bottom end, that low end. Maybe like a high shelf would really, like a bump in that low end for sure, to really kind of give that audio, that studio audio mix that most people are naturally listening to. That's the thing with live stream audio, is that you kind of have to compare it to what people hear like on Apple Music and Spotify, because that's what we're all used to.
Yeah.
And it's very different, and that's hard because it's live. It's in, not all live production setups can achieve that. But loudness and body is probably like the two big things I aim for in a mix, because that's what people really care about the most.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day. And so there's a couple ways to achieve that. Since you're using older technology, there's a piece of gear I recommend. It's only $1,000. It's called Angry Audio C4. This is like the tool that I use on every single broadcast mix, but it's just 2 XLRs in and out. It masters your audio to -14 LUFS, and you can just put that right before your embedder, and you're good on loudness. And then for the body, I would probably say look at your processing as well, and get a little bit more body in there.
What did you
Also
say that
for
device is
video.
called?
Angry Audio C4 Chameleon. It's a really niche brand. They make a lot of cool products, but this brand, I love this thing. I never do a broadcast without this, because it really makes a huge difference. And it doesn't really color your mix too much at all. But basically it preps your live stream mix out of the board, to make it basically radio worthy. and it is phenomenal. So definitely check it out. You can rack mount it, and it's worth every cent, to say the least. And especially in your case, because you're not even using any waves. So this piece of gear is probably going to be a real precious tool for you. So definitely check it out. Another thing I recommend too is that you have such a great camera setup. You have a phenomenal camera setup. If you're trying to achieve a more cinematic look, add some black bars to the top and the bottom. Now, this isn't for like every church. We do this all the time. We do this on our ATEM switchers and our Carbonite. We have a Carbonite Black Solo here, 12 here at our broadcast location. And you can achieve that by going to dashboard and have in one of your keys, make sure it's like the last key, so your other keys can layer on top. But make your internal source for that key black, and then make a mask, invert the mask, and then adjust the edges so you can achieve those black bars as a keyer rather than having to do another source. Super easy way to really drastically improve the look of your live stream. It's kind of crazy how like our brains just kind of think like, oh, we see black bars, it's cinematic.
Absolutely.
It makes a big difference for sure. Also, that gives you space to put lyrics as well without it hindering the camera shots as well, because sometimes lyrics and scriptures kind of get in the way of the framing. If you really want to get nitty gritty with the cinematic frames and the shots of a live stream, but it's little things that people don't really think about at the top of their head. But we're detail oriented, so we're always looking for things like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hey, I do want to speak into their the way they were doing preach a little bit there. I thought that was really pretty cool, Josh, how I think what you've done on purpose, it appears to me, is when your pastor is, it seems like he always looks over to this screen over here that you kind of made your own, super source layout there, that whenever he's referencing that, it almost looks like he's talking to, he's referencing this image, and you blow it up big in the super source. Great job on that. So I really like that. I think overall you're doing a great job. So,
oh yeah, killer setup, killer stream.
All right, well, let's move on to our next live stream review. This one comes to us from News Story. And
News Story, that's the first I've heard of that name before.
I'm pretty sure I got that right. Let's see. Yep, News Story Church. All right, here we go.
Show us a new story.
Good morning, News Story. Would you get on your feet and worship with us this morning?
I like the trees.
Yeah. Trees are coming back.
They are.
Here is where I lay it down, every burden, every crown. This is my surrender. This is my surrender.
Oh, that keys patch is so good.
Cameras look great with the LED wall, so good job making that work.
I see those P9s.
How you feel about slow pull-outs like that? He's listening on YouTube.
The optic gate right there, good choice. Is that the drummer or the aux drummer?
I think it's their only drummer that I've seen so far.
I like that it got creative with the t-shirt on the snare. I do that all the time if I don't have a cage at all.
surrender. And I will make room for you to do whatever you want to do whatever you want to.
It's a cool vibe. It's a cool vibe. Let's see if they ever get big into something.
Yes.
There we go. Got a little beat going now.
May not face Goliath, but I've got my own giants. Oh God, my God, I need you. Oh God, my God, I need you now. How I need you now. Oh rock of ages, I'm standing on your faithfulness. On your faithfulness. Oh God, my God, I need you. Oh God, my God, I need you now. How I need you now. Oh rock of ages, I'm standing on your faithfulness. Your faithfulness.
Nice.
Very, very cool.
Very good. The camera shots are really good. The angles, the way that they chose for the key light to come down as well, as they slowly have that movement, that was good. I like that. Great shot.
So they're using 3 Blackmagic Ursa Cinema cameras and then 3 Blackmagic Pockets.
Yep.
And then they're doing an ATEM Studio 4K and using OBS actually to stream the video. 2 Digico soundboards that are connected via Dante. So it sounds like they have a dedicated
You
one
got a
for
good setup.
broadcast.
Yeah.
So, man, I mean, I think it's hard to find a ton of things to say bad about this one. So what can we say? We can always improve, though. That's the great thing.
Yes, absolutely. Let me start with the great things first. I love the way you're using color. It is phenomenal. The haze in the room also really brings that out. And so the two-tone that you guys have, and I can really see it with those cameras too, really, really good. I love the way you guys are using color. I'm assuming there is a sermon theme as well with communion. And so I like the little elements you guys got going. Is that real fire on the candle?
I know it's trees and fire. Wow.
Yeah.
It may be
I'm
just
impressed.
some of those that have the little wick in them. That
Yeah.
it looks real. That's real.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks really, really real. That's good. I like that you had the t-shirt on the snare, so you're self-conscious about what's happening in the room as well, naturally. You guys are using the SPDS, which is really good, so you recognize that. I love that. And I think in a world where everything's processed, where we're used to processed sounds, SPDS makes sense for uncaged drums too. I'm also an advocate for live drums as well in a cage. So there's also that, but not everyone has that luxury too. So it's just nice. So I do like that you guys are self-conscious about that. You do care about audio a lot. I can see that because you get the optic gates and you get the digicos and everything else. And so that's really nice. Your musicians are locked in. They're really good. I like it. Your vocals are locked in too. Absolutely phenomenal. Look at that color. That's so good. I love that. Initial things right off the bat. Your lyrics, great sizing.
I
Probably
agree.
bring them down. Let's bring them down a little bit. Let's really see those camera shots, those angles, for sure as well. From an audio side, this is really, really good. And now you can't really hear it in OBS Ninja, but on the stream, there's a lot of white noise. And in audio world, we're always trying to subsidize the noise floor for a nice crystal clear sound. And that may be difficult with maybe some instruments are being plugged into the same electrical circuits as lights, or maybe there's some bad cables somewhere, or maybe something like that.
I've even noticed on our SPDSX we have to boost the gain for our inputs on it, so it could be.
I really recommend active DIs for SPDSs.
Okay, dang.
Yes.
Okay, like just radials.
Radio. I mean, any active DI works. Radio's really good. Neves are Radio and Neves are the 2 top industry brands. But I mean, unless you're recording,
it's hard for me to bring myself to pay for 4 active DIs for my 2 triggers and and stereo outputs,
Exactly.
but it's like,
yes. Yes,
So-
you can get by with a more budget-friendly active DI.
Okay.
I would say if you're not trying to make an album, then that works perfectly fine.
Yeah.
As well.
Let me ask you about this. I feel like on the drums they had set up this week that it feels like they were maybe like over compressing or like pumping a little bit. Listen
Yes.
and see.
Yeah.
Not as bad as
Yeah.
earlier, but
Yeah, I think if you're basing it off the snare, that's the effect of putting a T-shirt on a snare. There was a season during COVID where I had to do that because our drums were in a lobby, and I had to put T-shirts on toms and drums, and doing that does help a lot in the room, especially for vocal microphones. But it makes your snare sound not just a little fatter, but also really, really dead.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it sounds compressed because of the T-shirt.
Gotcha.
So it might be because of that as well. Now, this might be like a stylistic thing for the service. I'm not sure if they have I think that's a cage over there.
Yeah, he
I'm not
said
too sure.
he did say earlier, in usual setting, drum sets are in the
Yep.
booth.
Yes. So I'm assuming they brought out the drum set because they're kind of going for this homey, cozy vibe of communion with
Yeah.
the trees, and I get it. I see it all the time, and so I like that creative stylistic choice that you guys made there, and you adapted to it. I think you did a really good job with the circumstances of uncaged drums for sure.
Now, Kris, you said that you're a big waves guy. I'm curious to hear your reverb go-tos and tips and tricks for vocals specifically. We're just diving into moving our broadcast mix to being waves control. We have like a Proton Duo or something server, sitting there.
Yes.
I've never used waves really extensively. I've dabbled.
Yeah.
I dabble.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's good to dabble in it because that's the start of it. One quick kudo before I answer your question.
Sure.
I love that you went with the black SM58 grills. I think they're 58s.
Yeah.
They could be something else. I love just getting like cheap Amazon black SM58 grills because it makes a big difference.
I agree.
For the waves for vocals, let me open my super rack up here actually for you guys.
Ooh.
Just the perks of doing this in my little audio suite I have here. But typically for vocals, I try to make it in a broadcast world, not front of house world. In a broadcast world, I try to make it as studio-like as possible. Broadcast is a very different application than live. So if I was using waves in a broadcast, first, obviously, I use pitch correction all the time. That should be the first in your chain. Never do it after, because if you do it after a compressor, then you're going to introduce a lot of room and a lot of different noises that's not the vocal microphone, and then your pitch correction is going to be really wonky after that. Next, I keep it very basic. I go with an RVox compressor because it also includes... Yes, you have a question?
I have a question.
Yes, tell me.
On your waves tune, are you just setting that chromatic, or are you changing the key every time?
No.
Okay.
No, I only set it chromatic because the moment they get off key, it steers them away, and it does more damage than it does good.
Yeah.
So, which you could definitely tweak the settings to achieve that. But if you're doing like long sets, like we are, because we do 20-minute worship sets on a Sunday, and then for conferences, we're probably doing worship for like an hour or two. And so which you can keep tweaking and tweaking.
It's real easy to forget to change the key.
Exactly. It's easy to forget to change the key. We also have a lot of volunteers who run our audio stuff too. So leaving it in chromatic is I would probably say, the best way to achieve more great than good. And it's easy for everybody, from the vocalist to the engineers to your technicians as well. Now, if you have the capacity to run key changes, go for it. I have MIDI soft keys on my console here to change the keys, but chromatic is... I say chromatic's king on a Sunday.
I like it.
Next up, I'll go with an RVox. This is just an easy, simple compressor. I really use it more for the noise gate on it because it's a very soft noise gate. I'll either use that or the PSC source expander. Reason why is because there's a lot of different moments where people are not singing and singing, and when they're not singing, they're just introducing room noise. So I'll use an expander. Even on my front of house setup, I'll throw an expander on my D Live or my Avantis. I wish the SQ had it. We're in Allen Heath house, but I'll throw an expander on there live at the front of house because it makes a massive difference. And if you are dealing with some feedback as well, that also helps with that. What's up?
Okay, I'm used to thinking of expander as like gate
Yes.
expander. Is this
Yeah.
not doing that? What's it doing?
Yeah, I always like to explain to people that expanders are like a very soft, slow noise gate. It's
Okay.
not quite a gate. It's technically the opposite of a compressor,
Sure.
but they kind of combine it with most consoles combine it with a noise gate
Yeah.
as you can choose this or the expander because it kind of operates the same way. But it's basically in layman's terms a very soft, slow gate, and it's not as noticeable as a noise gate. Now you can turn a noise gate, like you can really crank up those hold attack settings
Yeah.
and release settings to kind of achieve the same thing. So if you're on an SQ6 or I'm not even sure if does the X32 have an expander
Yeah, it does.
on
yeah.
it? It
Yeah.
does?
And you
Okay,
can
so if you're dealing with
chain it to
consoles-
other channels even and other stuff.
Sweet. It's been so long since I've used an X32. I have one. I just don't use it. I use it for like other external events.
Sure.
Like Easter egg hunts and things like that.
Yeah.
But if you're dealing with a console like an an SQ6 where there is no expander, then you can crank up noise gate settings and kind of mimic that, but you got to be careful with that. But
are you
use an
just
expander.
doing that? Are you doing that just to get rid of like cymbal bleed into vocal mics? Like, what's their main purpose?
Yeah,
just to kind
so
of
the main
noise floor
purpose-
coming down.
Yeah, the main purpose is whenever they're not singing, it's not giving me just room ambience.
Yep.
That's the main goal. And so with that, it's your threshold should be very, very low. And if it cuts out your vocalist, when they're singing really, really quietly like this, then you gotta bring it down even lower. I've been experimenting with some AI plugins. I'm very careful with AI plugins because I don't know what these things do. That's like my big gripe with them. The only AI plugin that I was absolutely like mind blown over is the D-Feedback plugin by Alpha Labs. We just bought a four channel computer for that, and that's just so I can get like 10 dB more out of the wedges for our pastor because he likes the wedges louder than Stephen Furtick. So. And that causes feedback, obviously. So I've been mind blown over that. But I've been experimenting with some stuff. So right now I threw in the IDX Live Intelligent Dynamics. I would love to tell you what this thing does. I actually just kind of don't. It kind of feels like it's a multi-band compressor mixed with a 31-band EQ. That's what it looks like it's doing. What I hear is that it's kind of bringing the entire frequency response of the vocalist and compressing it just a little bit more so I can get that studio sound. But if you do it too much, then you really crush it. And it's not it's unnatural. So it's just to kind of round or bring everything in, kind of like a nice big bear hug. For the vocalist's voice. And then at the end of the chain, I'll throw an F6 there. Let me start with that. The F6, beautiful plugin. I don't use this as my main EQ. I only use it as a dynamic EQ. This is really big because, vocalists, they're not going to sing the same way in terms, they're not going to sing the same whenever they're singing really, really loud and really, really low. And so there is some audible things you need to look out for, especially in the house. If there's a vocalist that's more ear piercing, the louder they get, then the dynamic EQ is going to really round that off and really help you with that. That I've always found that to be the best solution other than getting a different microphone capsule. We standardize our capsules to be 87 Cs, not the As, mainly because of the cardioid polar pattern.
Okay.
Now, some vocalists, I will tell you, they need the SM58 because they're super bright, super nasally. But we standardize all of our mics to 87 Cs. And so the dynamic EQ really helps with eliminating that ear-piercing 2 to 4, 5 kilohertz area whenever they just kind of like blurt the chorus really loudly. And then at the end of the chain, I'll throw a vocal rider on it because it's gonna it's gonna help you a lot. It's gonna save you a lot of pain whenever they are going really, really high and really, really low.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very beautiful plugin.
Is that something that you like? I've never used that one. I've seen people talk about it, but are you saying like, hey, within this range, ride like 6 dB up and down or something, like it's not going to go crazy, right?
Yeah, no, it won't go that crazy. So what I do is I'll go +3 on if I want it to go up during those low moments, and I'll actually go +6. -6. Sorry, I'll go -6 if I want him to bring him down. So I'm using it more as an attenuator than me bringing it, for those low moments, having it super, super hot.
I see. Yeah.
And so because most of the time, my vocals are very, very far forward in the front if they're leading. And then I'll supplement the background vocalist. And so if they're already far forward in the front, I don't need them to be louder. I just need them to be a little bit more quieter during the chorus. And the vocal rider really, really helps with that because it's like having like 15 fingers.
Yeah. That's funny.
right there for you.
That's cool.
So that's kind of been that's my basic vocal chain. And I don't like to play with a lot of effects. Like I'm not filling out my my Wave Super Rack with all these plugins. I think I really only use like 5.
And then do you have a master delay for vocals that you're running delays with, or do you not really use
I do
delay?
it in the console, actually.
Okay.
Yep. I keep it in the console. I do my best because I'm only running native. I don't have a SoundGrade server or anything. I do have a Mac Studio that helps with that.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, it does. So I didn't really feel the need to get SoundGrade, like a SoundGrade server. I can get by just going native SQ6 USB out into the Mac. But I tried to manage my CPU processing on it if I'm multi-tracking too from the same machine. So, which we do a lot. We do a lot of multi-tracking, and we run Waves native on the same machine a lot. So I do a lot of things in the console as well. As big of a Waves guy as I am, I also don't like to rely on Waves too. I make sure everything sounds good in the box first, and then I'll use Waves to supplement. I won't say what it is. I remember doing an event because our church we do play at other conferences and churches around, if they invite us to their conferences. And I remember I just bypassed every single Waves plugin on every channel, go out of the box, and Pastor came to me and he was like, that was the best it ever sounded. And I'm like, Waves will definitely hurt you if you don't know what you're doing or if you rely on it way too much.
I see. Okay.
Unless you have the LV1, then you're kind of stuck with it.
Then you're straight out of the console. So
you're straight out of the console, yeah. You better know what you're doing.
That's great. No, that's good reminders. And so if you guys are using Waves, maybe just go back and turn off the plugins and see what they're actually doing. So
exactly, yeah.
All right, Kris, last one. I'm going to be selfish and make you listen to last week, I think, in our service here in our small venue. So just because I'm kind of nostalgic about it, and you talk, this Sunday's our last Sunday in here before we move back into our worship center, and we've been running on the trusty X32, baby, for this whole time in the last 16 months. So here we go.
It's nice and full. I love that. It's super crispy, super clear on the camera lenses. I don't know what camera you're using, actually.
In a dry and weary land where there is no water, our soul thirsts for Him. Will He not open the floodgates of heaven and pour out His Spirit?
Floodgates of heaven, will He not pour out
acoustic.
Well, it's hard to evaluate yourself sometimes, you know, but and
No, celebrate your wins.
and honestly, like, man, we've come so far, and this used to be a lunchroom basically in this
Yeah.
space, so it's been
And
fun
you
to
transformed it as a temporary space, right?
yeah, it's been now it's our
Yeah.
our youth space now going forward.
No, I love that.
Very exciting.
Yes.
So, any thoughts for us though, man? You
Yes.
don't have to, pull any punches with me. I'm definitely open to feedback.
Yeah, right off the bat, I love how full it is. I know you guys aren't working with a separate broadcast console, so this is most likely your front of house mix, right? With aux matrices and
Yeah, it's just
Yep.
bus
Yep.
feeds.
oh yeah, so it sounds nice and full. Your band is tight; they're polished. So definitely, I don't know if you pay your
all
musicians
volunteers.
or volunteers.
Yeah.
Definitely give them my kudos because they're really good. Really
I
well sounded.
agree.
I love your lighting. The camera angles are nice and sharp. What cameras are you using?
So it's a mix of
Mm-hmm.
GH5, GH7, and S52s. When you commented, I think it was one of our S52s.
Mm-hmm.
So all Panasonic, mirrorless stuff.
Yes. Yep. I love the image was sharp. You
Yeah.
got the black bars. Your lyrics are down there. I love the single lines. It's big. It's legible. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes lyrics can not be legible. They're too small. So I'm glad that they're legible. The reverbs are fantastic. My biggest kudo is the acoustic. I love acoustic guitars. Mainly because mostly everything in a mix is electronic and processed. And the acoustic is probably, other than drums, most of the time, sometimes drums are not as natural, but the
Yeah.
acoustic is probably the most natural sounding instrument in a broadcast mix or in a live mix. And so this also could be because I'm from like the Hillsong world, but whoever's leading and they're playing acoustic, you got to bump that acoustic up because all eyes are on the talent that's singing. And so if they see acoustic, they don't hear acoustic, then it's like, it doesn't make any sense.
That's fair. Dude, you're the first person that's ever told me to bump the acoustic up, because to me, I'm like, I feel like I'm just playing like shaker rhythm, with this thing. Like, I feel like I should not be heard that
Adds
much.
a ton.
So, okay.
It adds a ton. I would rather have an electric acoustic than two electrics.
Nice.
And I know that's like very, very uncommon in a worship world with audio, but there's so much texture in an acoustic guitar that you can't achieve on an electric guitar, and so that's why I really like it. And you can get creative with it too. Like sometimes I'll duplicate my acoustic channels. I will intentionally input delay one channel, hard pan them left and right, so it makes them a lot bigger.
Yeah. I'm actually running
to do that.
stereo acoustic out of a
Are you really?
HX Stomp. So
I love that.
I'm like,
It's big. No, it makes it big, and I noticed that about the mix. It's really, really big. It's wide. I could hear everything, which
cool.
is really nice. I'm glad you found that. Intentional with the lighting, for sure. You're playing with the shadows and the light, and that's a huge thing. A lot of people just kind of put lights, and the black space is just black space.
Yeah.
And so there is intentionality. Especially with your background, the texture is huge. I love that.
yeah,
That's really good.
It's been fun to build that out and just try to like, how can we create some looks that actually still look good on camera, but aren't like
Yes.
crazy overwhelming in the
Yep.
space,
Yeah.
because we're all so tight in there. But
Yeah.
and we didn't even run haze
Yep.
for a long time, and then when we got this weird slope ceiling thing like this on the left side, it's really low.
Oh, yep.
On the right side's really high, and so, but haze has actually added a lot. It's funny how that can really transform things, and
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think things to improve on.
Yes, please.
You ready for this one?
Yep.
Yeah. So very, very little things that I noticed. One thing, camera movement. There is a lot of, and this is preference too. There's a lot of value and increases your, I guess, your cinematic feel when there's a little bit of shakiness. You don't want to be so stiff on the hand cams.
Yep.
What we do it, we're kind of fast with our wireless camera, so this isn't for everybody. But we'll actually take a camera while we're live, and then we'll actually tell the camera person to go from one person, shift to another person really quickly, and they'll slide over to get that cinematic feel, and that really like brings you in. Because it kind of like, have you seen action movies, you know, like any of the John Wick movies?
Yeah.
They do that all the time. Like they'll point to John Wick, they'll point to somebody else, back to John Wick, and that keeps you engaged. And we do that a lot.
That's cool.
We'll move from like the drummer to the bass player really quickly.
Yep.
And not be so stiff with it. And there's a little bit of handheld shakeability, not too much to where it's like you can't handle it, but that adds a lot of cinematic value to it. I like that you guys have the slider there. That's perfect. I love that. Creates more movement. I think movement is just amazing for worship overall.
I totally hear you, though. I would love for our camera ops to get to that next level where they can, you know, pull focus real quick or, you know, whip to the next thing. And that's just a practice thing of like,
it is.
Hey, 15-year-old boys, we're all going to have a video ops training night and we're going to practice some of these moves so we're not just doing it live, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's hard to do that too. Like that takes time for camera ops to learn and get used to. Even now, since we're in a different stage, it's a very different layout. So our camera ops have to kind of relearn the muscle memory of whipping from one person to another on the cameras. And so there's a little bit of that learning curve right there for sure. I think the only thing that stuck out to me too, and it's probably the last thing that only stuck out to me, would most likely be the snare drum, which I'm assuming that's an E kit too, right?
Yeah, so it's running. I mean, it's an electronic kit running Austin Davis samples.
I love Austin Davis.
So, but it's been a balance of like trying to still make it sound natural but good, you know. And we've been pretty happy with it. Way better than the stock sounds of the Brain for sure.
Oh, 100%. It sounds great off the bat. The thing that stuck out to me wasn't the sound of it, but what the snare was doing to the overall mix in a broadcast. So it seemed like when the snare hit, everything else kind of just dropped down a little bit.
Yep.
And I don't know what the snare processing is.
Yeah.
But that could be something as easy as just simply bringing the snare back a little bit, or if the snare is maybe sidechained to something, maybe look at that. I'm not sure if it is. But
it's probably that I'm slamming the precision limiter in the X32 with the drum bus way too hard, probably.
Yeah.
Because it's hitting drum bus pre-fade and then it's hitting band and everything else, and then going to Matrix broadcast mix, and it's pretty close to peaking most of the time. But it's like I want full drums, but then I know everybody that's listened to it has told me the same thing. They're like, I feel like it's maybe just like crushing a little bit, whenever those are hitting really hard.
Yep. Yeah. And again, this is more like more of a preferential thing, but we kind of keep our vocals pretty far in the front as well, just because we want to make sure that people who are watching online, they're not just listening to it, but they're engaging with it.
Yeah.
And if they could sing along with the vocalist, now you don't want to do it in a way where it's like super far forward. Like in our live, our live mixes, the lead vocalist is pretty loud. In a broadcast mix, we kind of sit it back a little bit more than usual, but it's still the furthest thing forward. And we do some plugins to help with that as well. So like, for example, like we sidechain some of our vocalists in our vocal group. We'll sidechain that to the main band group. So our live, and this is a big thing for our live setup. I always recommend this tip for every church. If your console has groups, utilize just a simple band group and a vocal group, and sidechain some. If you have a dynamic EQ on that, sidechain the dynamic EQ of your vocal group into your band group, so that whenever your vocalists are singing, there are specific frequencies, more on the high mid area, where it could cut into your overall band mix so that your vocalists don't have to be too loud, but it's just enough to where those little pockets can be a little bit more intelligible whenever they're singing with everything else that's going on in a band mix, because there's a lot of things happening. And then we take it a little bit too far with this step. We have a pulpit group as well, because we like it loud, and the pastor microphone always has to be the loudest thing in a full worship mix. So what we do is this is gonna play with your mind a little bit. We take our band and vocal group, we send it to our mains, but we don't send the pulpit group to the mains. So what we do is we send the mains and the pulpit group individually to a matrix. We send that out to the PAs, but we'll stick a dynamic EQ on the main fader and sidechain the pulpit group so that we're doing the exact same thing that the vocal group is doing to the band. The only difference is that the two speaking microphones are doing it to the overall mix, because when you have a speaker shouting and a vocalist singing, they're clashing. So dynamic EQs are going to save your life whenever it comes to frequencies clashing. And sometimes you can't avoid that, but there's tools to help with that.
That's neat. Okay, so that's very similar idea of like side chaining the bass drum and the the kick drum and the bass guitar to kind of create that space, you know, in that frequency spectrum. But you're doing with a dynamic EQ with the vocal group to the band group.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yep. Okay. Well, I got all kinds of things to go back and say. Let me reference what Kris was talking about. Now I'm going to go in and play with this. So that's awesome. Hey, we did have a couple of thank yous come through.
Yes.
I want to say thank you to Josh. He says, thanks for the feedback today. Great reviews. Also, thanking from News Story, I think it was. Thank you for reviewing our church's live stream. Absolutely. That's why we're here, guys, is just to try and, help each other out. We're all doing this in our unique settings where God has placed us. And it's just cool that, like, through people like Kris and everybody else has been on the channel. Like, I honestly, guys, I do it selfishly just so I can learn. And then, why not live stream it for everybody else to learn as well, and we all learn together. So
yeah, because if you guys win, we win.
Amen, bro. That is so true.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so before we sign off today, I always just like to ask everybody, like, what's something that's exciting you right now that you're just all in? It could be like you're playing D&D with your friends on Friday nights. It could be that you're like a disc golfer, or it could be that you're like excited about AI Waves tune plugins. Like, what's something that is kind of like in your brain space currently?
Oh, yeah. Right now, I'm all about speed. So I've been doing a little bit of pro karting recently, not like your typical like kids go karts, but like the karts that go about 50, 60 miles an hour. So I've been doing that a lot the past few weeks. And I like to ride my motorcycle at night for like 15, 20 minutes, just kind of go around. F1 season's coming back up. So that's kind of like in my current brain space. That's kind of how I personally recharge, is either riding my motorcycle or just driving, racing some go-karts. And that's kind of away from, because like when I do that, I have to focus on driving and not anything else. So it really clears my head really quickly, and it also energizes you too, naturally. So, you don't need a cup of coffee in the morning. Just go go-karting or ride your motorcycle.
I love that.
Which is great.
That is awesome. Yeah. Whenever I went on a sabbatical, part of that was like, I was here for, I think I got that at 10 years. I've been here for 15 now. But part of that was, hey, you have to go to some Christian counseling. And part of the thing with the counselor he was talking about, my therapist was like, what do you do to relax? And I was like, well, I'm probably usually like going out on a run or something like that. Well, what do you do when you're running? Well, I'm usually listening to like a podcast. What's the podcast about? Usually about like leading worship. And he's like, see, here's the problem. The thing you're doing to relax, you're working while you're doing it.
Exactly.
But I'm like redeeming my time. He's like, no, like you need to find outlets to, disconnect and let your brain have like a reset. So I love that. Okay. So I need to get into speed racing go-karts. I love it. That's it. I don't know about motorcycles though. That scares me, dude.
Yeah.
So.
There's a lot of responsibility with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of responsibility, a lot of risk when it comes to motorcycles. But the go-karts, that's an easy way to get to start.
I love
getting into like more like speed racing.
That's cool. Well,
Yeah.
Kris, dude, thanks for coming on the live stream, sharing
Hey,
so
thank you
much
for inviting me.
knowledge, and I hope to have you on again sometime soon.
Hopefully soon. Yes, absolutely.
All right, you guys, say thank you to Kris in the chat today, and you're probably going to want to go back and refresh and watch some of these other tips and tricks that we talked about. Kris, have a great rest of your day. Hope your church has a great weekend, and
You too.
God bless.
Thank you. You too as well.
All right. Well, guys, seriously, thank you to Kris, and say it in the chat. I know a couple of you already chimed in there. Just like a gold mine of knowledge. And I think we could have sat here and gone through Waves chain plugins for the next 2 hours and just kept going. But alas, I do have about 30 things on my to-do list for this grand reopening on next Sunday. I can't wait to start showing you guys all the different things we've been working on, all the systems that we're putting in place. It's just super exciting. It's tough, though, when you feel like you're swimming out of a riptide to film yourself while you're doing it. So soon I will make it to the beach, and then I'll be able to vlog and share all the deets. So like and subscribe if you haven't already, and stick around. We're going to be having a lot more great content on the channel. And remember, guys, at the end of the day, we can do a lot of great things. Say it with me. Let's do it all for God's glory. We'll see you in the next one.